Hello everyone, very quick video today, completely unscripted, so apologies in advance for all the ramblings. I think someday I'm gonna stop making anti-Metatron content, but you know what I've realized? As long as Metatron keeps saying and doing stupid stuff, I will never run out of content. So I've made all my high-effort essays in the past, but now I'm entering my drama, react, slop arc when it comes to Metatron. So, quick recap of what I'm gonna be talking about today. So there's this other YouTuber called Freda, who recently, as in 2 months ago, he made a video not just attacking Metatron, but also Linda Beige and Shadowversity, mostly on how they present history in their content. What's really significant about this video is that of all the people who've criticized Metatron, this is by far the biggest video I've ever seen. Most of the time it's either like very niche, small communities going after Metatron, or it's low effort, frivolous content that doesn't have a lot of effort into it. And then there's my content, which is just like way too small. My channel is too insignificant for people to really notice my videos. But Freda's video on Metatron has almost 500,000 views. It is so big that it is impossible to ignore, and on top of that, while I do personally attack the politics of Metatron, I was never sufficiently equipped to attack the historical analysis because I'm just not a historian, I'm not an academic of any kind, but Freda is. So that's what this video on Metatron really was about, like how bad Metatron's history research and his approach to history is. And because of how massive this video got, Metatron could not let this one slide, so about a month ago, he made his own response to Freda, and Shadowversity also made his own response. All I can say about it is that it was so bad, it basically not only confirmed everything that Freda was saying, it made Metatron look objectively worse. The latest bit of drama to come out from this is the latest video by Freda that he made just 2 days ago, responding again to Metatron and Shad from their responses. It's a really good video. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend you check it out. It's basically the same as the first one. Freda just goes over the same arguments, though this time he reinforces his arguments by showing how in their responses, Metatron and Shad kept doing the same things that Freda was accusing them of doing. Now, throughout all of this, these are all big YouTubers, so their communities have been kind of fighting each other in the comment sections of everything. So when the first video on Freda came out, Metatron started seeing a wave of hate comments, and when Metatron and Shan made their videos, Freda started receiving his own wave of hate comments in his videos. But now that the new video is coming, there's a whole new wave of comments in Metatron's response. And this is what I want to talk about, because yesterday, I was at work on my break and I decided to take a look to see if from Freda's response, there's been a new wave of comments. And it's not so much the comments themselves that are interesting, it's the fact that they are all reaching top comments, and Metatron's response to all of these comments is both unhinged, kind of pathetic, and generally makes me wonder if Metatron isn't having some kind of crash out. So this is just what I want to do with this video, really. It's just go over the comments, read them out, and see how Metatron responds, because my god, this is bad. So, as you can see, we're under Metatron's video, and all the top comments now are all from the past 2 days, and it's just people coming back from Freda's response, just absolutely roasting Metatron, and when Metatron does respond, I don't know what to make of it. So let's just go through it, okay? So we have the first one right here. A historian complaining about all these citations used is quite something. This is because Metatron, in his own response, every time Freda started quoting historians to make his argument, Metatron would flat out cut those out. Purposefully say no, I'm not gonna read out those quotes, we're going to skip them because they are boring. Literally, I'm not engaging with your argument because it's just boring, so I'm just gonna move on. Which, if you're trying to have the moral high ground here and tell people that you're the one who speaks the truth and you're the one who makes the effort and is genuine and Freda is the one who's a liar, it doesn't really help your case when you're actively deciding openly to just ignore all of his arguments because they are boring. It doesn't make you seem like an intellectual, it just makes you look very intellectually lazy, you know? So a lot of the comments that Metatron is receiving is about that. Like this one here, crazy this guy had to cut out the evidence cited because it was boring. What a child. Indeed. And again right here, and this time Metatron responded, let's skip this part, it's really boring and he's just doing it to look smarter. Skips the most important part of the video that supports everything else. And how does Metatron respond to that? I would not have skipped it if he hadn't lied and attacked my character plus misrepresented my political views. But he did, hence he lost my interest in any good faith engagement. You know that's exactly what happened. Be honest. Again, he was literally conceding that that's exactly what he did, and It's purely petty. He's literally saying like, well, I felt attacked, therefore I decided to attack well. It's literally like, oh, he started first, so I'm doing it too. The problem is you're not actually substantiating how what Freda did was a personal attack and not like an actual critique. Of course, the critique is going to be harsh because your content is bad, your research is bad. So Freda was showing that. But he's literally like, okay, well, I didn't take kindly to that, so I'm just going to cut out his quotes. And when you say like, like he lost your interest in any good faith engagement, you're literally just saying that your own video was therefore made in bad faith. Why should people listen to you then, if you're actively admitting to that? And again, like, I'm just in top comments here, and a lot of them are getting pretty popular. Someone's jealous that Freda's channel is doing better than theirs. Now, this is the one thing that I want to emphasize here, and it's the fact that Metatron is always going to be receiving waves of comments, and a lot of them are going to not actually make any serious points. They're just going to crack little jokes, throw little jabs at you. So it's not so much that they're saying anything that's important. It's that if you're a large YouTuber and you respond to comments like these, it just shows that you've been hurt by them or that they've bothered you. By giving them attention, no matter what you say, that's the only message you're sending. So Metatron's response here is to quote the Bible. Galatians, I think that's how you said, Galatians 4:16, have I now become your enemy by telling you the truth? Now what does that mean? You just admitted in another comment that you purposefully cut out Freda's arguments and citations because you didn't want to address it in good faith, because you didn't perceive good faith from him. So what does that mean? You're not telling the truth. You actively were misleading. By cutting out the arguments, you purposefully misrepresented Freda. And now you're like, oh, well, you're just mad at me because I'm telling the truth. No. That's not how it works. Even some people are like, gee, you just quote other people. Boring. Like, yeah, you're quoting the Bible? Well, that's boring. We don't have to listen to you. Seriously? I speak of facts. Look at me, the pillar of truth. But fuck sources and fuck experts in the field. It's boring, thus it's wrong. And he does the same thing again. He's just like, this is part of his crash out. Like, he has either two ways of crashing out. Either he keeps quoting the Bible, or he just does a Joker laugh. Either way, he comes off completely unhinged. So, to really get all of this, and this is what you need to understand, like, if we go to, like, newest, as in, like, the most recent comments, like, they're still popping in. Like, the video is only 2 days old, but they just keep coming, and most of them are very negative towards Metatron. But if we just go to yesterday, like, he's still responding to a bunch of people, and he's really gone out of his way to respond to a lot of people, but every single time, he's not actually saying anything substantive. He's not rebuting people, he's just coming off unhinged. So here you get this one saying, like, I used to watch your videos, now I realized my taste was bad, sorry to hear you fell for the lies. So he's literally saying, like, the only reason you don't like my videos anymore isn't because, like, they're actually shitty, it's because you fell for the lies. That's the only explanation here. Okay, you see, like, here, like, you responded to a bunch of other people. So after literally 1 day, Freda has more views than you on his second video. His first video got more than 4 times the views. He's doing you a favor. And again, this is why I say that, like, Metatron is really annoyed by these videos. It's not so much that they're performing really well, it's that they are so huge that he can't ignore them. So how does he reply to that? Evil attracts evil. There's also this guy I've been noticing, like, Gatekeeper, whatever he is. I think every time Metatron responds to something, he just jumps in to try and roast Metatron some more, but, like, everyone who calls me out is evil because I narcissistically named myself after an angel, which he did. You guys don't call me out with constructive criticism and honest examples. You're doing exactly what Freda did. The thing is, Freda did cite examples, it's just you cut them out because you thought they were boring. You try to shame those who don't agree with your positions, and you use lies to defame others. That is indeed an evil deed, and of course you know it. This is such like an inflammatory use of the word evil. Some people disagree with you, they think your video was really bad, they're evil. You're pathetic, Metatron. And again, oh, you just don't like me because I'm saying the truth. Absolute cope, I enjoyed watching your channel, What does he respond to this? You guys are peaches, ha 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 ha. What? What are you doing, man? This is when we're starting to get into, like, the Joker reaction. This was the worst takedown I've seen on this channel. And again, more Joker laugh, ha 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 ha. Okay. This is something that I've heard Metatron say at some point, that he said that the way he deals with what he perceives to be online harassment is by just saying, like, oh, well, I just laugh it off. Which, if you're in your own house and you find them ridiculous and you want to have a chuckle, like, okay, but if you have nothing to say at all, and you do this laughter with multiple people, it doesn't seem like you're just laughing it off because you genuinely find it funny. It just comes off like you're insane, like you're losing your mind. Awful video, keep it up. I will keep it up, ha 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 ha. I used to watch all these sloptubers, but then I grew up. It's sad they don't seem to have yet. Lol. Again, just move on, Metatron. You don't need to respond to every single hate comment. It just makes you look like an idiot, especially because now you're getting ratioed in all of these exchanges. Again, dude, you made yourself look worse. I watched you when I was young. I remember I saw some video where you say some stupid shit and I unsubscribed. Now a lot of people are thinking the same. They are indeed. And again, like just pure Joker laugh. That doesn't mean anything. And people next are just like going like, yeah, you're really crashing out. And you keep thinking, Metatron, that like, yeah, you know, it's more engagement for you, which I guess it is. But when you're receiving hundreds of comments a day, you don't need to respond to them. Like your own amount of comments, just giving them more attention doesn't actually significantly increase your engagement. You might as well just ignore them and move on. But when you do this, my God, you just look like a complete unhinged loser. Saw you cut out all the citations and evidence Freda tried to use, almost like you were afraid of what he was saying, something a Nazi sympathizer would do. And again, lol. Like, it's funny how, like, you don't even bother to refute, but this is what I'm saying, like, we're just going through all of them right now, but he just keeps replying to everybody, and he keeps getting ratioed at every instance. Every single time. He just looks like the idiot in every one of these interactions, and he never actually says anything. It's either Bible quoting or laughing like the Joker. Holy mother of quote chopping. Yes, and I'll do it again. So what business do you have saying that like you are bringing the truth when you're not even addressing the other points? You're literally admitting here, yeah, I'm chopping the quotes and I'm not responding to them. My God, Metatron is basically having a full mental breakdown right now. What the hell? Having a good time while you guys fall for it. I was only pretending to be dumb is not the own you think it is. We know you aren't pretending. And that's kind of the same point. Like, yeah, Metatron is like, oh yeah, you know, like, I'm just doing whatever and I don't really care what you guys think, but let me respond to everybody because I'm here in these comments like the rest of you, arguing with you, but not actually saying anything. Wow, this is probably the worst response of all of those. I used to watch both you and Shad, but now I can't treat any of you seriously. Skipping citations and calling yourself a historian, it's like being a cosmonaut and believing in flat earth. And once again, just just the same Bible quote. Man, imagine being this up your own butt, lying constantly because you need the views and validation. Projection. What do you mean projection? He doesn't need the views and validation. This guy's not a YouTuber. But I mean, anyway, you get the point. When you have really big YouTubers just talking about each other, of course the communities are going to go into each other's comment sections and just fight it out that way. But the fact that Metatron is spending so much time in his own comment section, having all these little snarky responses that are just, let's face it, really childish. This is why I'm wondering at this point if he's genuinely crashing out. But at this point, I mean, if Metatron is still planning on making more videos on Freda, I don't think Freda will respond again. I think he's made his point. But if Metatron decides to respond to Freda again, the only indication both from this response and from the way he's handling all the hate comments under his video is showing that, like, whatever impression we had of Metatron before, that he might have been like intellectually honest or that he genuinely wanted to improve, is completely gone. Now he just comes off completely unhinged, arrogant, lazy, misleading, and petty. Like, especially petty. The fact that in his own comments, he's admitting that he purposefully cut out the quotes from Freda just because he didn't want to address them, because he perceives that Freda's video was made in bad faith, therefore he doesn't have any responsibility to act in good faith himself. It just comes off so childish. But anyway, that was my quick video. I promise I got an actual video coming on my channel very soon, so I'll see you then. Bye-bye.